Hi, welcome to EPC Services Company. My name is Randy McClure and I'm the Corporate Safety Manager. We created this safety video for new employees assigned to EPC Services Company construction projects. At the conclusion of the video, a member of our construction team will review our site-specific safety and emergency action plans with you. These plans cover the site-specific and owner-client safety requirements that are unique to this project. If you have any questions or concerns regarding your safety or the safety of others on an EPC Services Company project, please tell one of our construction team members or contact our safety group at safety@epcs.com. Our commitment to safety. EPC Services Company believes ensuring a safe work environment for its employees, contractors, vendors, and clients is its highest priority. We expect project management teams to execute projects with the highest value being placed on safety. EPCS expects all employees and contractors to identify and eliminate hazards, thus creating a safe and productive work environment. Welcome to our team. Duty to stop unsafe acts. This is one of our major initiatives. Now, you might have heard this referred to in other projects as stop work authority. Well, here we believe you have a duty. It's not just the authority, but a duty to stop unsafe acts performed by others and to invite others to stop your unsafe acts. This includes any tasks or conditions that have not been analyzed during a thorough JHA. This hard hat sticker or this logo that you see on the screen here, Stop Unsafe Acts, you'll receive something similar to that. It will say Stop Unsafe Acts on it. It'll be different colors for every year. But by getting that hard hat sticker, that means that you've agreed to your duty to stop unsafe acts on our projects. The idea here is see something, say something, do something. Site-specific safety plans. We have a site-specific and safety plan and emergency action plan for every project. We will review those at the end of this video for the project that you're on. In our site-specific safety plans, they highlight our expectations and client-specific project safety requirements. They get, again, reviewed by all personnel that arrive on site. Our emergency action plans contain the route to the nearest medical facility from the work site, emergency service providers, emergency contacts, event preparedness like tornadoes, floods, climate, wildfire, etc. It tells you where the muster points are. It gives you communication methods that we'll use in the event of emergencies, and it also talks about emergency procedures. Again, the emergency action plan and the site-specific safety plan will be reviewed with you at the conclusion of this video. Job hazard analysis. We believe that job hazards analysis are the beginning of every morning, the most important part of every morning. It's the opportunity to make safety top of mind and get your head in the game. A job hazard analysis can be called a job safety analysis, a task hazard analysis, whatever your company calls it. The objective is the same, and that is to identify each of the tasks that you're performing, assess the hazards associated with that task, and implement measures to control those hazards. Everyone involved with the task must participate in the JHA. A good JHA should be engaging. That means employees should ask questions, recommend alternative work practices, discuss the consequences of failure, and share past experiences. When do you perform JHAs? Well, immediately before any task is performed. When the tasks, personnel, materials, or tools change. When environmental conditions such as weather change or anything that could adversely impact the working environment changes. We perform JHAs after a lunch break or any extended break. That we review them just to make sure that nothing has changed, that no conditions have changed. Your attendance is required and your participation is expected. Where do we perform JHAs? They're conducted at the work location to ensure that everyone can observe the site conditions, understand their responsibilities, and has the opportunity to ask questions. We have something we call a JHA quality scorecard, and we hand it out to every new subcontractor when they get on the project. So it's going to be a PDF form that's going to tell you the 10 questions that we're going to hold you accountable for. It helps you understand what we expect in our JHAs. So we'll do practice grading for the first couple of days or first week, and then early on we will go into our safety management system, which is FTQ 360, and we'll do a real grading, and it will assess the quality of your JHAs. So we use the scores of that to gauge the progress. It's part of our incentive program. So crews whose progress improves, we might buy you lunch or get you some hats or have some other handout things that we will provide your crew for participating in our JHA program. Coordinating high hazard activities. This is really important on our project because we have limited resources to watch the safety. So we focus on the activities that are highest hazard because they're the activities that can kill us and the activities that can be made safer with extra safety eyes on them. So examples of high hazard activities are working on or around energized equipment, aerial work, working at heights, material lifting with cranes, drilled excavations, helicopter work, equipment operation in congested areas, testing when multiple contractors are present. Energized substation training. If your work will be performed in an energized substation, you must have substation entry training. Until you've completed the substation entry training, you cannot enter a substation without an escort. And if you have an escort assigned to you in a substation and your escort leaves, you have to leave with that escort. Fall prevention and rescue. Fall prevention is required anytime work is 6 feet above the lower level. EPCS requires a manufacturer or engineer rated tie-off point rated to greater than 5,000 pounds per employee attached. Anytime fall prevention is used, you must have a rescue plan. Rescue planning. If your plan relies on local EMS, they must be capable of performing rescue in 4 to 6 minutes. And if not, you, the subcontractor, must have your own rescue plan and have adequately trained personnel and equipment. Drilled excavations. We have drilled excavations on almost every one of our projects. So all excavations greater than 30 inches wide and greater than 6 feet deep must have a restricted access zone. Anyone entering the restricted access zone must wear fall protection, tie off to an approved anchorage, and have a written fall retrieval plan. Trenching and other excavations. All trenches and excavations must be barricaded and inspected by a competent person. That's a competent person under the OSHA guidelines before any entry and throughout the shift. A competent person has the training and skills to ensure that excavations are performed safely and can correct any unsafe condition. The trenching and excavation inspections must be documented in writing. Either a checklist form is ideal, but at the very minimum have to be included in the JHA. Forklift and aerial lift operation. All aerial lift and forklift operators must have current training on the equipment they plan to operate. Aerial work in restricted access zones, drop zones. Written plans required for energized electrical work must be approved by the EPCS construction manager. Aerial work on energized electrical equipment requires the use of a qualified observer, groundman. When ground personnel or equipment are in danger of being struck by falling objects, a drop zone must be identified and controlled. That is, no one enters the drop zone until the overhead hazardous conditions have been mitigated. Material lifting and hoisting, cranes. Lifts involving critical equipment require lift plans. Critical equipment includes control houses, capacitor banks, switches and switch enclosures, anything deemed critical to project completion. The EPCS construction manager uses the approved lift plan to perform a pre-lift review. Crane operators must perform a practice lift. The entire area around the lift must be demarcated, for example, with cones and caution tape. And no one enters the lift zone until work is stopped. Control of hazardous energy, lockout, tagout. Energy sources must be isolated and locked, tagged out. Subcontractor must apply LOTO to control houses when auxiliary generators are connected and or batteries are installed. Testers take over LOTO when testing begins, and the CM coordinates the LOTO between the subcontractor, testing, and other stakeholders. Piers, spotters, and drive paths. Spotters are required in congested work environments, no exceptions. Spotter requirement and name must be included in the JHA. Designated drive paths must be established in substations and switch yards. Foundations and piers must be identified with a visual warning device. Vehicle operation, distracted driving. Cell phone use requiring the use of hands is prohibited while operating a vehicle or piece of equipment. The exception is that in navigation, if at a complete stop when programming your location. So the bottom line with electronic device use is while you're operating a piece of equipment or a vehicle, do not perform any functions with that device that requires your hands. Everything that you do while driving has to be hands-free. Heat and cold exposure. Contractor must implement employee heat, cold stress prevention measures when conditions cause the body to gain or lose heat. For cold exposure, the considerations are clothing, hydration plans, scheduled work rest regimens, and heated break areas. Specific cold exposure measures must be included in the JHA. For heat illness prevention, our contractors must use wet bulb globe temperature monitor or a wet bulb globe temperature mobile application to determine work rest schedules during extreme heat conditions. Prevention measures, hydration schedules, scheduled work rest regimens based on conditions, sun-shaded rest areas, and urine color charts in latrines. Specific heat illness prevention measures must be documented in the JHA. Break schedules must be tied to heat stress data and as needed. Breaks cannot be left to the discretion of the employees alone. There must be a break schedule. In California projects, according to California OSHA Section 3395, when temperatures exceed 80 degrees Fahrenheit, shaded rest areas and ensure employees are acclimated are requirements. When temperatures exceed 95 degrees Fahrenheit, you have to implement high heat procedures. These include employer-employee communications, employee observations, scheduled hydration reminders, sun-shaded rest areas, and urine color charts in the latrines. Incident management. What is an incident? Incidents include injuries and illnesses, first aid, environmental releases, outages, equipment damage, property damage, dig-ins, cave-ins, or other. All incidents must be reported to EPCS immediately. If you're not clear if something on your project is classified as an incident, talk to the construction manager and work it out. Decide if it's an incident. It's better to work it out as a team than for you to decide it's not an incident and for us to later discover that it was. So we consider good catches and near misses leading indicators. Good catch and near miss reporting. Good catches and near misses are a major part of our safety program. We call them leading indicators, and we keep track of these to tell us how well our safety culture is working. A good catch means some hazardous act or condition is caught before it happens. It's see something, say something, do something in action. A near miss, on the other hand, means something happened, but no one was hurt and nothing was damaged because a protective measure was in place, or we were just lucky. Safety meetings. Our subcontractors must conduct and document toolbox talks at least weekly or more frequently if required by a client. Our subcontractors must attend our weekly call-in for safety calls that happen on Tuesday mornings. And they must attend post-incident discussions, which typically are held the next morning after an incident. Our EPCS construction managers will invite our subcontractors and our owner-client reps and provide them with weekly call-in agendas that have the dial-in instructions embedded in the agenda.